Okay, I'm here with Simon Levene, who is a venture capitalist at Accel in Europe. And Simon's been around the block. He's worked at various internet companies like Yahoo and At Home. And now he's in the venture capital business in Europe. Hello, Simon. Introduce yourself to the people at home.
Good evening, Cara and friends.
Okay, listen, what's going on in the venture business here in Europe? Now, it's considered not quite as active as the U.S., but I'm just curious what the differences are from your perspective.
The differences are that it's more fragmented. So in the US, you have significant concentrations of entrepreneurs in the Valley, in the Boston area, in Seattle, whereas in Europe, it's more spread out. London is becoming a concentration, but it's very expensive to start businesses here. There's a lot of concentration in Israel, but if I look at Accel's portfolio, it's spread out across Germany, the Nordic region, France. There's no single centre of concentration, which makes more travel for
you,
the
poor
venture.
venture capitalists.
Exactly.
I always feel sorry for
We
you
have to
guys.
fly around
In your G5, I know it's tough.
in British Airways like everyone else,
All
and go through the long security lines.
All right, well, let's go. Let's move on from the toughness of your life. What is the difference in the companies here? Now, a lot of people feel that it's not quite, a lot of people we talk to, not as much innovation, not as much entrepreneurialism. Is that true, or is it just a myth?
I don't agree with that. I think that in the first generation of the web, entrepreneurs here may have been less ambitious, and they kind of looked to the US, looked to models that worked, and trying to build those for the UK or France or Germany, and it was a kind of Me Too approach. But in what I describe as the sort of second generation of web entrepreneurs, folks really have global ambitions, and in many ways have an advantage being here, because by not having a significant domestic market, they're building multi-language products with global ambitions from the get-go, whereas a lot of US players really only building for the domestic market, and international is a kind of afterthought.
What are the interesting companies here, both not just Excel businesses, but what are some of the biggest trends here to start with?
Biggest trends, I would say, mobile is an area where Europe, Asia as well, is significantly more advanced than the US. There haven't been as many cutting-edge mobile applications that have been launched, unfortunately, which is in part a reflection of the dynamic of the mobile operators, in part just the fact that it's not a standardized open platform. But I'm very optimistic in the medium to longer term that that will become a pervasive change to the computer industry, because just the device that you're holding and recording this interview with will become a mobile communication device that is very powerful. So that's an area broadly that venture folks, I think, are very interested in. Otherwise, I'm personally spending, like many folks, a lot of time in the video space. So historically, the web has been an important medium for text, kind of little graphics, but as the pipes get bigger, there's an enormous opportunity to take existing video that's sitting in libraries or going down the tube, move that online, as well as lots of new interesting kinds of video that users can create. So we're spending a lot of time in Excel on that space, as are many other
And
folks in the venture
what
business.
what do you think the exciting companies to come out of here right now, the small companies are? I mean, I looked at Dailymotion recently, and various a couple of German companies, but nothing on the scale of what's happening in Silicon Valley right now.
Well, in the video space specifically, obviously YouTube is the Goliath, but here in Europe, there's Dailymotion that you mentioned. There's an Israeli company called MetaCafe that has roughly the same number of users, around I think 25 to 30 million users. There's a new project called Juiced, which is an
I'm not
index.
a big Juiced fan, but go ahead.
It's an index Sequoia-backed company to
Right.
promote some of my
Right.
competitors' ventures, that has a
Knit
illustrious
vibes.
management team, and is very well funded, and is a very ambitious project. And, frankly, there's a lot of, I would describe, less well funded but kind of interesting little things that are not necessarily venture-backed business or venture-backable business, but that may materialize into something quite interesting.
And biggest hype?
Biggest hype, I think, is ooh, that's a good question. What do I like to piss on all the time? I think that
You can't think of a good hype. You
no,
can't think.
I'm trying to think of something without like picking on a particular company. So I don't want to.
Trend. What's a
Yeah, so
trend?
I'm going to pick on a trend that so I think there's a lot of Me Too kind of features in the social networking space that I'm really not sure will become standalone businesses.
Right.
So there are probably 100 widget
Right.
companies
I'm against
that
widgets, you know. I've
that
declared war.
I didn't know that, but I'm
Yes.
pleased to join your
Good. Excellent.
declaration.
We'll enroll you right after we're done. Yeah.
So I think those are interesting features that maybe belong to someone else,
Right.
but as standalone businesses, I'm not certain of their sustainability.
Thank you, Simon. Bye. Say bye to the people in America.
Bye.